What positive effect has coronavirus quarantine had on your life? My relationship with my teenager has strengthened and grown far beyond what I ever imagined possible. We laugh, joke, talk, and go for long walks together. She wants to spend time with me. She has invited me into her world, and feels safe enough to share her deepest thoughts, fears, hopes, dreams, and opinions. I'm continually in awe of her insights, empathy, kindness, and compassion. She's an amazing human being, and I'm grateful for the bond we have. If this is the only good thing that comes from the pandemic for me, I will eternally feel like I've won the lottery. My dad passed away at the end of March, and being in quarantine has allowed me to grieve without the responsibility of having to go into work or having to interact with anyone. It's made this process a lot easier. Edit. Thank you to all the wonderful people for your compassion and condolences. I really appreciate it. Realizing how boring my life is and how unchanged my life was by quarantine. Saved a ton of money. Alone time and time away from sensory stressors at school. The quality of my work has gotten much better as I actually have the opportunity to focus and do my best now. A lot of students struggled with the lack of daily structure and procrastinated. After weeks of work piling up, they became so overwhelmed and anxious that they were unable to even begin. They are now in summer school trying to pass their classes. It's nice to hear that you found a way to thrive. Good for you. What did you do to make this happen? I've got ADHD, so lacking structure was rough for me, but I instantly felt more relaxed when I got out of school and got to work in an environment more suitable for me as a student. I have a dedicated workplace in my room, and I've worked on it a lot over the years. Sleep, eating, and exercise are huge factors to this, so scheduling those in daily regardless of what else I do on top of using a calendar have gotten me back to the top of my grades. I have not had the coronavirus yet. How do you know? Today, head person of our National Health Statistics Committee said, up to 60% of people infected had no symptoms, or they had something like regular every year flu. Honestly, I think I myself had COVID-19 while I had this something like flu after attending movie festival. 1 week, 1 to 3 movies a day. In the beginning of March. At the time we already had first cases. Go get an antibody test. I'm pretty sure 80% of the people who tested positive for it on the cruise ship had no symptoms. That's good, and it's also bad. That means there's a lot of people who don't know they have it heading out into the reopen. Excuse to stay home all day, no judgment. I didn't have to talk to people, it's an introvert's dream. I've grown much more comfortable seeing my face without makeup. Now I can accept and almost like my natural appearance. Everyone has to wear masks in public. This really lowers my social anxiety since there's less of their face to look at. Especially if it was some hole I didn't want to see. I've lost close to 15 pounds. Who knew that cutting out daily fast food lunches would have such a big impact so quickly? Not me, apparently. Damn, I'll PayPal you 15 pounds, then we can't all be in debt. Got the damn thing and had to move away from my wife and kids. Went 10 miles to my parents who have a camper I could stay in. Is the sickest I have ever been in my life. I got to see and visit with my parents every day for 12 straight days. Some days I could only stand to be out for maybe 15 minutes on the porch before I had to go back inside. Some days I could stay out longer, and more often, regardless of what they were doing, they would stop and just sit with me. They lived 10 miles away, and it took contracting coronavirus to get me in a position to see them as often as I did. I will cherish that time with them till the day I die. Being an adult is hard sometimes, and we can lose focus on what matters. I am so thankful to be back home today, but am so very thankful for my parents taking care of me and offering their camper for me to contaminate. I have my own boobs now. No graveyard shifts at work equals healthy sleep schedule equals more energy and better mood during the day. I'm quietly dreading going back to lates and night shifts when quarantine lifts. Making more from unemployment. Had time to update my resume and organize my room and trunk. Opened up a savings account for the first time in my life. Been hiking every single day for at least an hour. More family time. Haven't drank much alcohol besides a few cups during this whole quarantine. Being able to appreciate my life and friends more. Going on car rides is a fucking adventure. Sounds like you're crushing it. Keep it up. Upgraded 10 gallons fish tank to 55 gallons. My fishy's got a new big home now. Spent much more time with family and my little doggo. Both wife and I worked from home, so we have saved a ton. $800 per month on childcare. Granted, working with a 2-year-old screaming isn't the easiest thing, but we eventually adjusted. It made me realize that the 8-hour workday is a bunch of BS. We had a lot of downtime and I didn't have to pretend to work since there wasn't anyone looking over my shoulder. Once I was done with work, we would work on some home projects. Built a fence, a deck, mantle for fireplace, etc. I know the stimulus money was intended to be spent to stimulate the economy. But honestly, it was all put into savings. We'll push some student loans. Kinda waiting to see if any of the loan forgiveness talks pan out. All in all, biggest aspect of it so far is that we aerially saved money. Well, I gained neck fat, so if anyone tried to slit my throat they'd have to go through a couple of layers first. Less stress. Like way less. People are stressful. I stopped smoking for like 5 weeks. Flushed my lungs out a fair bit. I am back smoking now. But only at like 2 to 3 sticks a day. I don't have the breathlessness I used to get earlier after a smoke. AWHH dude, why'd you go back? I've quit smoking now for months and the only time I ever slip up is when I'm extremely drunk in. Get offered one. Felt like one a couple weeks ago. It has been stagnant at the 2 to 3 a day since then. It is helpful while I'm working. Lets me decompress and get my thoughts together. Sort of a pit stop during a day. WFH is harder with a kid at home. I quit smoking. It's a small thing but also life-saving. People finally understand my 3-foot area. Stop, don't touch me there. That is my no-no square. I broke my ankle right before quarantine hit, so I was going to be on bed rest anyway, and this let me not need to rush to classes and aggravate it at all. I also was falling behind in one of my courses and got an A in a class one probably would have gotten a C on normally. I also just moved into a new place with my girlfriend, so hanging out in our new apartment together every day has been pretty awesome. No commute means 2.5 extra hours in my day not spent on city buses. More time for exercise. Preparing healthy meals. Have lost 25 pounds since January. Obviously started before all this. But quarantine has helped. I've had more time to exercise, unwind, and write, which I choose to instead spend on binging a mediocre Netflix show and eating snacks. Honestly, it's forcing me out of my depression rut and actually getting me to watch Netflix. You have no idea how much of a difference it makes to actually have both one more thing to talk about and a reminder of why you love the concept of storytelling on the days where my focus isn't completely shot. It's starting to make me dredge out old ideas and think if I want to write them as you're also getting through my yarn stash. Everything is delivered home now. Like right at the door and not to the pickup places. I'm chronically ill and it's difficult for me to go out. The deliveries has made my life a lot easier. Food, plants, medicines, household items. I masturbate at home instead of work now. Hold up. I have $6,000 I didn't have beforehand. And I've got to spend the last 3 months living at my cottage and will be for the foreseeable future. I was able to cancel all bills except my $40 phone plan and have all the time in the world to really do well with my online college. 6 months ago when I was ordering everything and having it delivered because I refused to shower and put on pants. I was just a lazy sack of shit. Now when I do it, I'm hero and I'm saving lives. I can now run 4 miles without stopping, which isn't much, but something I've always failed to achieve. I don't have to talk to people. I made beef Wellington relatively successfully, which I've wanted to do for a while. It definitely gave me the nudge I needed to cut my caffeine from dangerously high amounts to just 2 cups of coffee. What was dangerously high for you before? My caffeine intake has actually increased because I'm stuck at home and I drink instant, and it's just habit to knock on the kettle when the mug is empty. It's messing with my sleep big time. I'm trying to alternate each cup with one of herbal tea, but it's hard. I would start my day with a pot, then drink an energy drink on my way to work. Open another at work. Get the coffee brewing while I drank my third energy drink. Sip iced coffee all day, then drink another energy drink on my walk home. That was a usual day. If I had a busy day, I would drink one more energy drink after lunch, haha. Be careful with instant coffee though, there's some research on it that instant and French press coffee can actually increase LDL levels. Same. Actually, I would drink coffee constantly at the office, but I cut back considerably once WFH went into effect because I wasn't expending all that energy anymore walking around, being social, in and out of meetings and so forth. So, I cut back a lot and eventually moved to decaf. Blood pressure has come down a bit, too. I had a full strength cup for the first time in a while last weekend and it was intense. Got to spend way more time with my family. Leave my toxic relationship. I moved a week before we went on lockdown and moving was incredibly stressful. It's my first flat and the first time I've had my own space. I went from a really negative housing situation to a positive. I finally got some proper rest and I'm eating and sleeping better than I have since I was a teenager. Started painting, worked on my dissertation, spent quality time with my husband, appreciated the nice weather during daily walks, saw duckling and cygnets at the local pond, saving 60 to 70% of my salary every month. I co-parent and work a lot, so I feel like the time my kids spend with me is just spent doing homework, cooking, eating dinner and getting them to take a bath. I felt like I missed out on so much and the kids were spending so much time in before or after care. But it all changed. We got to spend a few weeks with nothing getting in between us. We did so many crafts, spent late nights chalking, staying up chatting, bonding and loving each other. It was a much-needed break for a lot of working moms. I do know that I am not cut out for homeschooling, but I also have decided I think I need a job with different hours. I'm just missing out on too much. Literally nothing tbh. Lost 15 pounds. Oh, here's 15 pounds from me. I actually did consider making a UK joke on this. It's allowed me to reflect on all the horrible things I've seen in life and help come to terms with it. Sometimes all you really need is just some alone. Random people stop trying to hug me. Hello. I hate physical contact 90% of the time except with a few very close friends. It's awesome not having to worry about random people touching me. Como yo soy eso to greet people post-corona that you're comfortable with. And if people give you grief, just let them know that you're trying to keep up the good habits. I've saved so much money on not having to buy lunch and drive to work each day. Like, 10% of my income would go on that, and it's now money I'm able to save each month. Also, I'm no longer spending 2 hours a day commuting, so that's pretty nice too. I just roll out of bed at 8:50 and get on my laptop by 9. I figured out what I really need. Fast, reliable broadband. More money coming in than going out. I live with my mother and I'm able to work from home. As well as finishing my college program this year, I've stopped spending on going out or impulse purchases. My daughter and I were on the verge of a complete split in our relationship. COVID hit. She and her husband came to isolate with us and we worked so much out. Ah, glad to hear you're working stuff out. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.